Welcome to the Pit Stop,
the official recap show for Season 2 of Underground's Drag Race.
with me, Ruby George.
And me, Ricky Morales.
Episode 4, Celebrity Impersonations.
Each contestant this week had to pick a celebrity to impersonate, create a mix, and perform as that celebrity.
The guest judges this week were Freddie Mercury and Marjorie Logan Price.
For each competitor, we'll discuss their chosen celebrity, their impersonation of the celebrity, and their performance.
First up was Tara Bishop, who impersonated Tatiana from RuPaul's Drag Race. I thought Tatiana was a fun choice because she's recognizable, but I wish that we had gone a non-drag route. I think it would have been a little more interesting.
I personally was fine with going a drag route.
Usually I thought she had a great impersonation. She recreated the outfit from her All Stars 2 lip sync for Shut Up and Drive with Alyssa Edwards. Tara's drag itself is very similar to Tatiana's drag. So if we were looking for a transformation, I think it would be difficult for her to achieve that with Tatiana.
I didn't know who she was going for at first, but when I saw the pictures of her next to Tatiana, it was very obvious that she did a good job.
For her performance, I loved that she did the same parts. That's one of my favorite things to come out of Drag Race. She had a lot of funny songs that tied into her experience with the competition. She did Confident, which was the lip sync song from the last week. And she said fuck you to the judges, which I always love when someone does that. The only thing that was missing for me was she was wearing the Shut Up and Drive outfit. I wanted Shut Up and Drive, just a little bit.
Yeah, personally, I loved how meta the performance felt. It felt very much like she came in this bitch mad.
Mad as hell.
Was fucking up that stage. She did a great job performing. Our second competitor was Celery, and she chose to impersonate Siri. I don't know if that's a celebrity.
If celebrity means well-known, Siri's very well-known. There's not a person to impersonate.
There's not like a physical representation of Siri. In terms of the impersonation, it's hard to say how you hit the mark impersonating a character that doesn't either have a physical representation or technically a character representation either.
There was nothing for me to visually compare Sella to as a reference.
Yes.
So that's why I feel like I can't talk about her ability of impersonating Siri. We can talk about how well she personified Siri, but not how well she impersonated Siri.
The performance, I thought, was amazing. I absolutely enjoyed this performance. There was not a single second of this performance that I did not enjoy. I loved that she decided to paint herself blue. I loved that she had these like LED lights on her. I loved that she had just come out in the cardboard square cutout that she painted. I loved the apps that she had, like Grinders on there with 69 messages. Apparently there was like an Easter egg for her next week's.
Fantastic use of props, fantastic choreography, hilarious mix, no notes.
Loved when she plugged herself into the wall.
That was crazy.
That was funny.
That was it. That was the moment.
That was the moment.
She plugged her pussy into the wall.
That was really hilarious. That speaks to Sella's drag.
Next up was Looky Lou, who was Julia Child. I was obsessed with this. Love Julie and Julia. That movie is bomb, so I'm all about it. I'm a big foodie too, so I've definitely watched some content from Ms. Julia. And all these queens are doing king shit. Absolutely bring on the kings doing some queen shit. Let's mix that up.
So many queens impersonate like male celebrities as a gag, and so it was really gaggy.
We've never seen Looky do something like this ever. Regarding the impersonation, I thought he had a good makeup transformation, and he had fantastic costuming, and mannerisms and facial expressions and body language in general.
I totally agree with that. I think his attention to detail was pretty good. He had the pin that she tends to wear, or brooch, and him using it as the pasties at the end was also a hilarious attention to detail.
His performance was great. He had an entire set that he had prepared and put on the stage, which I thought was very immersive and absolutely helped with his impersonation. I feel like there were some sections that were a little long, but the finale was a huge payoff.
He had amazing use of his props, loved the stage setup, and doing somebody who has a cooking show is great because you essentially get to act like you're on a show and like you're facing a camera, which I think helps the impersonation, especially on that stage at Underground. The only thing for me, he was turning around a lot to go to the oven. I wish the oven was maybe more diagonal or horizontal to him so that he could have shown like, I still know all these words I'm lip syncing. There was a couple parts where the stopping and starting of his lip sync was a tiny bit rough. But one thing I did love is that when he set the timer and the timer audio was going off and he just started speaking like in real life over the timer, I thought that that was hilarious and really set him apart. So it was like an excellent use of like tension. Our fourth competitor was Maddie Valley, and she impersonated Patti LuPone. I thought this was a good choice because Maddie Valley loves theater and musicals, and Patti LuPone is a Broadway actress, and she's a diva at that. Whenever you do celebrity impersonations, I think being able to be overdramatic, over the top is a good choice.
Patty's very recognizable, and her behaviors and actions lend herself to a drag performance. And she's had a long career, so there's plenty of moments to choose from for your performance.
I wasn't familiar myself with Patti LuPone by name. I was pretty familiar with her because she's actually interacted a lot with drag queens.
Yes.
So I feel like that's also a good choice because in the public eye, she has basically associated herself with drag queens and the fact that she likes drag queens. So I think it's more likely that people, even if they don't know like Broadway theater, might know a bit about Patti LuPone and find her mannerisms interesting. In terms of the impersonation, I know for sure she looked like Patti LuPone. She has that side smirk, and that did come out. So that was a plus to me.
Spot on.
Performance-wise, I thought it was a great performance. I was super entertained. The lip sync was spot on. And I felt the prop usage was great. I loved the playbills. And I loved that she was able to like hand them out to the judges and then grab them back. And the playbills also like referenced which show it was from. All of that stood out to me.
She had phenomenal choreography, and she had really good interactions with the judges through those props. It was fantastic. She had really good audience interaction too.
Oh yes, when she had the mix come on, it said, "Don't take pictures! Don't take pictures!"
Next up was Marzipan, who was an Oompa Loompa. For me, this is in a similar category to Siri, where this is a character. I'm not sure I would say it's a celebrity. It was really creative, but I'm not sure that it fully met the assignment for me.
I feel like at least there was a physical representation to have to impersonate, which was really well done. But because Oompa Loompas really they don't really talk much. They have a role in the movie, you know who they are and what they do. So it helps in case of like there being a character to impersonate, but there's multiple of them. So it's not just one that you're impersonating.
Now, unlike Stella, Mars did have a physical representation, a visual representation to reference. So when we talk about the impersonation, I thought Mars demolished. Fantastic job of taking the reference that we know and dragging it up. Also, incredible application of makeup. That was the cleanest body paint that we've seen all season.
The first outfit was leaning into the movies, and then the second outfit, like you said, dragged it up a lot.
Marzipan's performance was really fun. The vast majority of it was an original monologue that Marzipan had written from the perspective of an Oompa Loompa. I thought it was extremely hilarious and very creative, but again, that's a personification, that's not an impersonation, because that's Marzipan's original content coming out, not impersonating an established character that we know. So I'm not sure if that fully met the assignment.
And that was also my qualm with it.
That being said, the performance was stellar. Incredible reveals, incredible timing, very sharp lip sync, great burlesque moments, hilarious. It was really a standout.
I would love to see that performance again. No notes. Next up was Sheena Spice, and they impersonated Lea Michele. Personally, I thought this was a great choice. I was so excited for it. As a former Gleek and show choir kid, Lea Michele is over the top. A diva. That's what she's known for. So it's a great person to impersonate. You know, if you did show choir, it's not crazy that you go do drag. Regarding the impersonation, I thought Sheena did a great job. The outfit to me was very Rachel Berry, Lea Michele as Rachel Berry and Glee. It was dragged up a tiny bit with some stones. Oh, and I thought the hair was great as well. I see the note, but she didn't need the bangs.
The bangs are Rachel Berry.
Right.
The middle part is Lea Michele. Trust.
Regarding the performance, I thought the concept was great. There was a lot of spoken word parts. It was heavy on the monologues, and really the music didn't come in until the end. And the lip sync was struggling because of that. There was a lot of words. It's hard to do.
That being said, Sheena put in a lot of really good, iconic Rachel Berry moments, and the big finale was a great payoff. Last but not least was Shady Ho, who was Joanne the Scammer. This was, to me, the most fun choice of the entire night. We are in tricky territory, though, because Joanne the Scammer is a character portrayed by a real-life influencer.
I think the difference is that Joanne the Scammer is the celebrity, not the person who was being Joanne the Scammer. I don't know what that dude is up to now. I think this is closer to when Alea last season did Jesus.
Yeah.
I think this was a great choice because hilarious, tons of clips because this was a mostly online memed phenomenon. And also, Joanne the Scammer's a bad drag. Like, really, it's a busted ass wig, no makeup, coat. You get to save time having to do this like extravagant makeup change. Shay has a beard already. Shay just had to put on that shake and go wig and a coat. And it's not lazy because her drag is normally so good. She had to put in work to be like messy.
Her look was spot on. Her mannerisms were spot on. Her facial expressions were spot on. And you talked about how Joanne is supposed to be busted. Shay still looked so beautiful. I know she was trying so hard. She looked gorgeous. I'm so sorry.
No, for real. The only thing that was busted was that wig.
And I bet you she like spent time and effort making that look like that.
No, for real.
This was the most accurate physical impersonation.
Yes, I agree. I immediately knew the moment she walked out that she was being Joanne the Scammer. And I haven't thought about Joanne the Scammer in years. Like, you know what I mean? I have not thought about Joanne the Scammer in years. And I was a big Joanne the Scammer fan. So the moment she came out as Joanne the Scammer, I said, I know you're doing Joanne the Scammer. I was living.
Instantly recognizable. Performance was absolutely hilarious. I think she had the best physical comedy out of anyone the entire night. The way she was running and scrambling all over the stage, the way she was stealing shit from the judges and threatening them, it was so beautiful.
No, everything about the performance was so funny to me. I loved when she pushed her wig back a bit.
Crazy.
I absolutely loved everything about this performance. I need to see it again. I need to see more Joanne the Scammer. That would fill me with joy. The only thing for me, which is crazy to say about Shay, is that there was certain times where the stop and start of the monologues wasn't as clean for her lip sync.
It was such a dialogue-heavy mix that I think that happened more often. I could have used more music.
I wasn't mad at there being less music. I thought it was so funny. The only thing was maybe there not being as much music and there being no beat in the background is what made it hard to like get the timing of the lip sync. In a new turn of events, after critiques, the judges asked each competitor to answer the question, who should go home and why?
Maddie, Marzipan, Shay, and Tara said that Sheena should go home.
Both Sela and Sheena said that Tara should go home.
And all of those competitors said that it was based on critiques that people have received so far in the competition.
Lucky Lou, maybe vying for Mr. Congeniality of the season, said that Shay should go home because she was the biggest competition.
Boo!
Boo.
Bad answer, King.
Take the heat.
Be a bitch. After everyone answered the question, the judges announced this week's placements.
At the top this week, we had Marzipan, Celery, Maddie Valley, and Lucky Lou.
Which left Shay, Sheena, and Tara as the bottom three.
Ultimately, Shady Ho was safe, and that left Sheena Spice and Tara Bishop as the bottom two. The lip sync song this week was Last Dance by Donna Summer. Great song.
Fabulous song. Kind of shady for an elimination, though.
Oh, I love that. Like, it's your last dance.
Bitch, this is your last dance.
Get a little emotional with it, yeah.
By the end of the lip sync, it was decided that Tara would stay, and Sheena had to sashay away.
I think it was a close lip sync.
Mm-hmm.
Both performers put their all into it.
It was a close call.
I think it came down to Tara's use of time. Tara paced herself better, and she knows how to be still.
Sheena's exit line was, "It looks like this race is about to get a lot more bland." That cracked my shit up.
Great through line from their entrance line. I think one thing we have to give props to Sheena for is that they had significantly less time than everybody else because they were a last minute addition 2 weeks before.
And they made it halfway through the competition.
Yes.
I know I could not have done that.
Props.
Next week, we're taking a break for Pride.
So we'll see you back here in 2 weeks.
On the official Underground's Drag Race YouTube channel.
And remember, you can catch Underground's Drag Race Season 2 every Sunday, 7:30 p.m. at the Underground.
Bye.
Wepa.
Tea.
So sale donde soy, no me roquen, no. It's just business.